They had no chemistry. We've all said it about a movie. Nobody ever asked us what we meant because we don't really know. We feel it when it's there and feel its absence when it isn't. That gap between feeling chemistry and being able to name it, that's the gap making us misread our own love lives. And it's the same gap modern romances are dying inside of. So let's close it by jumping in right away. The thing that makes us feel chemistry between two characters is that they haven't kissed yet. Which sounds contradicting, but most romances don't understand it. Hear me out. Once two people in a movie kiss, the energy that's been keeping us in our seats is over. The thing we wanted to see has happened. There's nothing left to want. Past Lives is built on this. The director, Celine Song, told her two main characters not to touch each other off camera until the script said they could. So when Greta Lee and Tae Yoo finally hug for the first time in the movie, the actors had not hugged each other in real life for weeks. They are physically reacting to something they've been waiting for. You feel it watching them. The whole movie runs on that wait. The strongest scene in Past Lives comes near the end. Nora and Hae Sung are standing on a sidewalk, waiting for a car neither of them wants.
금방 오나?
2분.
They're barely speaking. And the longer they stand there, the harder it gets to watch them. That's a film that understands that we're watching something that is slowly building up. Romantic chemistry is what hasn't happened yet. The moment it happens, the building up stops. This is what makes the kiss tricky. It's the moment the chemistry ends. Two people who haven't kissed yet are interesting. Two people who just kissed are a couple. Bridgerton's first season learned this too late. The first half of the show was Daphne and Simon barely keeping their hands off each other. It works. Then they sleep together, and the show spends the rest of the season trying to find a new reason for us to care. Royal succession problems. The Duke's daddy issues. None of it works as well because the engine that was running the show is gone. Smarter shows stretch the wait across the whole runtime. Netflix's One Day puts M and Dex in the same room on the same day every year for almost 20 years. Most of those years, they don't get to be together. We watch them want each other and miss each other for ages. By the time anything finally happens, we've been waiting so long it actually hurts. That's the move. The years of wanting. When I rewatch some romances I loved as a kid, I noticed something. The ones that still worked all kept stretching the wait. The ones that didn't give us the kiss too early and then ran out of fuel. Most modern rom-coms get this exactly backwards. They treat the kiss like something to check off the list. Hit it halfway so the audience feels paid off. Then move into the last half of the story where stuff gets in the way. But that part can't carry chemistry on its own. The wait was the real driving factor. That's why so many love stories feel weaker in the second half. So chemistry depends on what hasn't happened yet. The next question is what makes us care that it hasn't. Because two people not kissing only matters if we believe that these two specific people belong together. How can you even make that happen? Try this. Think about the last romance you watched and the person the main character ended up with. Now try to remember what that person actually wanted out of life. Not to be with the protagonist. What did they care about when the protagonist wasn't around? What did they want for themselves? Most of us can't answer. The writing left nothing there to find. A lot of love interests in modern romances don't have a life outside the relationship. They show up to be loved. They have a job, maybe, and a family member or two for backstory, but they don't actually want anything except to end up with the protagonist by the end of Act 3. They are the prize, which is everything wrong with real chemistry. When chemistry feels flat, we usually blame the actors. The actual problem sits one layer deeper. The love interest was never written as a person, and that's why most modern romances are quietly failing. Go back to Past Lives. That movie hits as hard as it does because both Nora and Hae Sung are full people. Nora is a playwright in New York. She's married to a man she loves and is building a life she chose deliberately. Hae Sung has a job in Seoul and a quiet sense that his life isn't going where it was supposed to. When he flies to New York to see her, he's there because something in him has stalled, and she's part of how he's trying to figure out what to do next. You feel it. Both of them are walking around inside their own worlds. The chemistry hits because both have something to lose. Nora is choosing her current life every time she chooses not to leave with him. He's choosing his own search every time he gets back on the plane. Challengers builds 3 characters around each other in the same way. Each of them wants something specific. Tashi's whole world is tennis, the life her injury took away from her. Art wants Tashi's love, but he also wants the version of himself that her belief makes possible. Patrick wants the charge between them all. The competition, the attention, the feeling that tennis can still mean something when it is tangled up with desire. None of them want each other in the simple way rom-com love interests do. They want their own thing, and the other people are part of how they're trying to get it. If you took Tashi out and put in a different woman, the whole movie collapses. Zendaya's performance is part of why, but it's mostly that Tashi is a specific person with specific desires, and the other 2 characters only make sense around her. If you could swap either character with another actor of the same general type and the script would still work, the writing failed. Most films fail this on the love interest specifically. They treat the protagonist as a person and the love interest as a placeholder. It Ends With Us is a recent example. The leads arrive with names, professions, traumatic histories, and carefully assigned backstories, but the film often treats those details as plot machinery more than as evidence of a complicated inner life. In the end, it feels like a situation where the woman must choose between the dangerous husband and the safer first love. The result is a story with plenty of biography, but not always enough psychological texture. You could swap either one with another tall, conventionally attractive person, and nothing essential would change. The characters exist to be loved and fought over. If chemistry needs both people to be unswappable, the next question is what these unswappable people are actually doing when they're together. Because 2 real people can sit across from each other and feel nothing. The chemistry needs something between them. Most of us have been told banter is what makes romantic chemistry work. 2 characters trade quick, witty lines, neither of them backing down, and we're supposed to see sparks fly. It's kind of like flirting. Poking fun at each other, maybe saying something that could go too far, and being exactly on that line of fun and insulting is a sweet spot. You want characters to push it, because if they aren't pushing it, it means they're afraid of losing someone who, quote-unquote, isn't even theirs. Like, really, the 2 characters need to be disagreeing about something that matters to both of them. Friction shows the audience that both people don't need another person to complete them, and are still willing to stand their own ground. A lot of recent rom-coms get this wrong by giving us personality contrast and calling it tension. She's stressed and he's chill. They bicker about laundry. That barely registers as conflict. It's 2 people with different vibes occupying the same room. Nothing important is at stake. Compare that to Rye Lane. Yaz and Dom meet in a public bathroom after both being recently dumped.
Everything all right in there?
Yep. Fine.
All right.
And they spend the whole movie walking through South London arguing about whether you should hold on to a relationship or just blow it up and start over. Both of them are trying to figure out what they actually believe about love, and they keep arriving at different answers. The disagreement is the whole reason they keep walking together. Bringing Up Baby does this same thing in screwball form. Cary Grant is a paleontologist who needs his dinosaur bone for the museum. Katharine Hepburn keeps stealing his car because she decided she wants him. They both want something in completely different ways. He wants to be left alone to do his work. She wants him to come live a wilder life. Every scene is a fight about which version of his life he's going to choose. Notice that both films have real disagreement at their core. Both pairs are arguing about how to live. When modern rom-coms skip this step, they end up with 2 attractive people circling each other for 90 minutes without ever actually clashing. They have what looks like banter from the outside, but if you listen, neither of them is really saying anything to the other. They're performing for the audience. You can spot this yourself. I mean, you've seen it before. Whenever a rom-com scene has 2 characters trading one-liners and you find yourself just, looking at the lighting or something, that's because nothing's really happening between them. Banter without disagreement is just 2 people being charming in the same shot. Friction is also where the not yet starts to mean something. Restraint is interesting because the 2 characters keep choosing not to act on what's between them. But they only keep choosing not to act if there's actual pressure. Friction is what creates the pressure. So now we have most of the picture. 2 unswappable people who actively disagree on something that matters, holding back from acting on what's between them. What we still don't have is the moment that makes us care. So is that the kiss? I wouldn't say so. I'd say it's the moment before the kiss, or one that wasn't even close to a kiss. Wait, it can even be the moment after the kiss or any other version of romantic intercourse. Let me explain. For most people, it's the moment one character understands the other in a way nobody else has. The moment where one person looks at the other and sees them clearly, and the other person feels that being seen. This is what we've actually been responding to all along when we say a couple has chemistry. The not yet is driving the story forward. The specificity makes us care. The friction generates pressure. But the moment we commit to the relationship as viewers, that's almost always a recognition scene. Normal People has one of the cleanest examples of this. Connell and Marianne are at a school party in their hometown. Connell is the popular athlete. Marianne is the weird outcast. They've been sleeping together in secret for months because Connell is too embarrassed to be seen with her. At a party, his friends start low-key bullying Marianne, even touching her breast, and when stuff escalates, Connell ends up taking Marianne to his house. But not before telling Rachel to piss off. The next school day, his friends ask Connell if something is going on between him and Marianne because of the way he acted. He denies it, then goes to Rachel and apologizes. Then, he asked Rachel out to their variant of prom. Connell then goes to Marianne's house to tell her that he asked Rachel to the Debs, defending himself that they're only friends. Marianne got hurt and started not going to school. Connell went to the Debs with Rachel. During the party, he realized Marianne's worth and started to run outside calling her on the phone. He left a message telling her that he missed her and that he loves her. It's not the same with other people when he's talking to her. That's the moment. And that might explain what I said earlier about how it could show up in different ways, before or after intimate moments. He saw her, and she saw him seeing her, and now both of them know exactly who the other is. They can spend the rest of the show breaking each other's hearts and reconciling, because they're never going to mistake each other for anyone else again. Bridgerton's third season landed this with Colin. Penelope and Colin have been friends for years. Colin has spent most of these years really not seeing her because she's just Pen. When he finally does see her in the carriage on the way home from the ball, the show treats it like a reveal.
Penelope.
I do not wish to speak with you.
Please.
It is a reveal. The audience feels it as much as Colin does. We've been watching him overlook her all along, and the carriage scene is the moment the entire season has been building toward. The recognition doesn't have to be dramatic, it can be small. Atonement has its romantic peak in a library, when Robbie and Cecilia stop pretending neither of them has been thinking about the other for years. The whole scene is built on one of them seeing the other clearly for the first time, and not being able to look away. The mistake is what happens when the film knows it needs this scene, but doesn't trust the audience to feel it. Then we get the recognition montage. Music swells, quick cuts of them through the years. The film tells us they see each other now, instead of writing the scene where they actually do. When this scene works, it doesn't matter what comes after. The relationship is now permanent in the audience's head. We will follow them through anything because we've seen them see each other. When it's missing, we're never quite invested. So that's the 4 pieces. 2 specific people who care about something the other disagrees with, holding back from acting on what's between them until the moment one of them is finally seen for who they are. That's the work. When chemistry feels great, it's almost always some combination of these 4 pieces in motion. This is why some of the smallest romantic films we've ever loved feel huge, and some of the most expensive ones feel like nothing. It also explains something we don't usually want to think about. We've been measuring our own relationships against this stuff. The instincts we use to decide whether something's real came from years of watching scenes that were never actually doing the work. Once you can name what real chemistry looks like, you stop getting fooled by the fake version. You also stop trying to make your own life look like a movie that didn't understand love in the first place. The relationships in your own world start looking different. Sometimes worse when you realize what's missing. Sometimes better when you realize what's been there all along.